So thank you everybody for coming to our next edition. We're going to study the second law of of the atomic habits, and Stacy is going to be leading the session today. Thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm going to share, I have some notes that I put on my, okay, can you guys see that? Can you see my
Yep.
screen? Okay,
Yes.
my Word just kind of spread them all out. So I just see 3 pages. Hopefully you guys see that. So I did this, we are doing the second law, make it attractive, your habits attractive. Chapter 8, it's how to make a habit irresistible. So just a little summary of that chapter is the role of dopamine. Dopamine drives motivation, not just when we experience pleasure, but when we anticipate it. So anticipation of a reward creates a powerful feedback loop that motivates action more than the reward itself. And then there's also wanting versus liking. So our brains are wired to crave the wanting, which is the anticipation, more than the liking, the actual reward. And then this explains why excitement often peaks before an event rather than during it, because you're anticipating it. Supernormal stimuli, exaggerated cues, like hyper palatable junk food or addictive apps, hijack our brain's reward system. So companies exploit this by making products more attractive through sensory enhancements. And then temptation bundling was talked about. It's a strategy to make good habits more appealing. So you pair something you need to do with something you want to do. So if you want to watch Netflix, you do it while exercising on a stationary bike. So I have some questions about this chapter. Can you think of a habit you've successfully made irresistible in your own life? And like what cues or rewards did you use to do that? So I'll open up to you guys.
I have one.
Sure.
I hate doing expense reports, but I really love listening to this one channel. Can't remember what it is on YouTube, but it's like dance music set to like tropical scenery and people on vacation, and I would put that on and then do my expense reports while it was in the background. And it got to the point where if I put that music on and I wasn't doing expense reports, I would like start craving doing expense reports.
Nice.
And this came from the first time that I read the book. So that actually worked. And I don't even need to have it on while I do expense reports. I'm so used to doing them now. It's like,
That's awesome.
That's good. It made me think. I don't usually like doing the dishes because I feel like I'm bored. So to entice me, I put my phone just nearby and watch just one of the dumb shows, on Hulu. And then it just makes the time go by faster because I'm just watching a sitcom or, listening to it more so. And then while I just do the dishes. So yeah, so kind of just making it more, you know, a better experience doing the dishes instead of just standing there alone thinking. So anyone else have any examples?
Mm, I can't
No,
think of
but
any right now because this is
I
a
need
good
to.
one.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
No,
Marcy.
no, no, you were Luca. I don't have one.
You speaking of expense reports, invoicing is my biggest pain in the butt. Oh my God, I hate it so much. I'll make up any excuse to not do it. Oh, it's just a little amount. I'll do it next month for this client. And then I'm 3 months down and it's a massive invoice. And I've tried doing things like setting up time at the end of the week, like, okay, 30 minutes to just keep up to date, and then it's not as painful. I can't even manage to do that. So I think I have to put some Zumba music, or like you said, something that I really like to do at the same time so that I will get these things done. I've even tried employing like a bookkeeper, like, I want you to get on me to do this, and that didn't even work. So I think the positive is much better than the negative feedback. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, let us know how that works if you add music and stuff. Cool. I'll go to the next question. Which habits in your life currently feel boring or hard to stick with? How could you apply the ideas from the chapter to make them more attractive? Anyone? I can give my example. I'm really, my whole goal this year, which now it's in October, almost November, which I have not completed. I need to help my mom put together her will trust. And I did actually visit a lawyer to get all the paperwork, and he just gave me all this stuff, fill all this out, return it, and then he'll start writing it. But of course, I haven't done anything. So it's just because I just think it's boring. Like, oh, I got to write all this stuff down. So I went on to chat, well, not even chat GPT. I think it was Copilot. And I typed in what I should do, like I need to do this. And so they kind of gave me an idea, like create a positive ritual, light a candle, or set up a cozy workspace before starting. This signals comfort and makes the task feel less intimidating. And then it also, we talk about later, but like temptation bundling. So pair it with something enjoyable. So I'll work on my paperwork, like while sipping my favorite tea, or like we talked about, listening to calming music. So just kind of pair it with something, not just, oh, I got to do this paperwork, and then I never do it because I just don't want to. It doesn't sound appealing. So do you guys have any examples in your life that something that might feel boring and you need to make it more attractive to do?
I go to a lot of doctor's appointments, and they're usually half an hour away by bus. And just to make the time pass, I wear these noise canceling headphones and put on my favorite music and make it something that I actually look forward to doing instead of dreading. It's
Right.
kind of lets the time pass and reduces the anxiety around, being on a bus and all the noise of the bus and dealing with it. People don't deal with me as much, like they kind of leave me alone more often. So, that's a trick that's helped for me.
Yeah, that's smart.
I do audiobooks, and then sometimes that takes the time because I live in North Dakota, and so you can drive for 10 hours or 8 hours straight without you go straight, and there's not a hill, nothing, just agricultural land all over. So you really can drive with one eye open and there's nothing other than the occasional deer. And so you have to keep really entertained. And so the audiobooks have helped me tremendously, but now I just came back from New York, and I noticed that everybody have always their headphones no matter what, like at the grocery store and anything. And so Saturday I had to run a lot of errands here, and then having your headphones and not dealing with anybody around you, it's a blessing. I didn't hear anybody, so if something was on fire, I could be burned to death. I could not hear anything. And I think that's what I'm going to do forever because I don't want people to talk to me. I don't want to hear what they have to say. I had to go to a birthday party that it was like a costume birthday party. So I went to the Halloween store, which you can about imagine the amount of people that there were around. So I get the headphones on and I was like, oh, this is actually enjoyable. I hate shopping, but that wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's a good one because I also hate shopping. And so I also just put on my headphones and, listen to something. And driving is my least favorite thing. And I have to do it once a week. I have to go driving everywhere because I do inspections for ADA, and it's like it's so boring. But that's audiobooks it's a good idea.
So
Go ahead.
one that on Saturdays I'm taking my daughter for an art class a little bit far away from our house, and it's for 2 hours. So I see like all the parents have to stay in the car, and they just stay on their phone for 2 hours. And I was like, I have to take her again. So I'm trying to like see the positive on like, okay, I'm taking her, she's learning something new. So I started looking like, okay, what's around there? So I noticed that there's like farmers markets on Saturdays. So now instead of like sitting in the parking lot, I go to the farmer's market, like I look at the fruit, I talk to the people, like, so now I'm like, I enjoy it because I'm like, oh, great, I want to go on Saturday so I can go and see, what they have this weekend, like new fruits so, just a little something.
That's awesome, temptation bundling. That's really good.
Yeah, and exploring, finding new things to go do. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone else have any comments on that last question? Okay. I'll go to the last question, which we kind of already talked about. Have you tried temptation bundling? If so, what was the pairing and did it work for you?
So I've been doing like every time that I want to work out a little bit, lift some weights a little bit, and I'm trying to build up to that. Like I think who was it? Was it I think it was Jen that was also trying to do that. Anyway, so in the mornings I bundle it with I don't know if that's habit stacking or I don't know if it's temptation bundling or habit stacking, but when I'm waiting for my water to get warm, I do my weights. But I mean, I think that's more habit stacking than temptation bundling. So like temptation bundling would be like something I enjoy doing and I'm going to do something with it. Is that what that temptation
I
bundling
think
is?
so, to help
Yeah.
tempt you to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that I'm like Jessica and like Giovanna's like I just turning on the little show or you I think Stacy you said it turn on a show when I'm doing something boring and I'm just watching that as I'm doing my also not a spreadsheet but whatever it is that I'm doing a report that takes me forever just really like inserting pictures and just boring stuff. So yeah.
Great.
Mm.
All right. I'll move to the next chapter, chapter 9. The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. So just summarizing, we imitate 3 groups. So he talks about close, which is family, friends that have the most direct influence on our habits. The many, so social norms and peer groups guide what behaviors feel normal. And then the powerful, we copy those we admire or aspire to be like. And social norms drive behavior. So humans crave belonging and acceptance. So we tend to adopt habits that fit in our tribe, even if they conflict with our personal goals. The environment and culture matter. Habits are easier to maintain when they align with the expectations of your social environment. So this is an example. Joining a fitness club makes exercising feel normal because you're in the environment of a gym or a fitness group. So some strategies: surround yourself with people who embody the habits that you want. Join communities where your desired behavior is the norm, and then use accountability and positive peer pressure to reinforce good habits. So here's some questions. Which of these 3 groups, the close, many, or powerful, influence your habits the most and why?
I think I'm going to share mine because
Okay.
mine was really powerful. Not the powerful. Actually, mine was the many. So about 6 years ago, I started a health journey where I had to lose weight because I was just so uncomfortable with my body. So I joined a group that was doing the same program. Like everybody was doing it the same time. And not like Weight Watchers, similar, but it was online. It was during COVID actually. Like I started, but then COVID started. So it was a godsend that it was online and there's a Facebook group and we would post questions and post recipes and post. So it was like we were always, and then once a week we would get on a Zoom and talk to each other. So it was like everybody was doing the same thing and everybody was supporting each other and being everybody's cheerleader. And it was such a powerful thing because then I wasn't alone doing it alone. And I definitely took advantage of it. I was there almost every day, just posting things and questions and supporting everybody there. And so it was really great. And I lost 50 pounds, and it was like that group was really, really helpful for me. Like that's the social norm. It was like groups that was doing the same thing. So that was really good.
And I think it helps support each other because I was in a Weight Watchers here on campus and just meeting and everyone sharing what success or what they, and then finding new ideas. I think that was
Yeah.
good. Like, hey, I've done this to do this, and then just everyone's positive and helping each other. So
Mhm.
that's really good.
Yeah, I like that.
Other people, what groups what influences you guys the most? And is it
Long time ago when I was back in my baby is 21, so I was pregnant like she was born in 2004. I joined this group community of people, and it was just something on the internet that it was like May mommies or something like that. So because our children were due in May. So I cannot tell you that out of those thousands of people, we then they deleted that group or whatever, and then seven of us became really close, and we're still friends to this day. And we have seen our kids grow up. Some have lost their children to suicide. Some have, I mean, it's just some kids, have struggled with other things, and throughout it all, it's just been there been I and then this are people that some of them I've never met, and yet it's just so we were going through all that pregnancy together. And so we have children at the same stage and stuff. So it was really great. I mean, like I said, to this day, this group exists and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you. Giovanna? Oh, she just muted. Anyone else would like to share?
Well,
I'm
mine
part of
is,
a, sorry,
go ahead.
go ahead, Ray Luca.
No,
Is
no, that's all right, Sandra. I'll talk after you.
Okay. I'm part of a peer group of people that are developing software as a service. So yeah, I've got a platform that I'm launching, and then even today I was on a Zoom call with one of the people in my peer group, and he's in Brazil, and he's creating a platform for managing documents in architecture. And we were talking about how we could work together. And he's like, "Oh, well, LEED is just starting in Brazil. Maybe you could work on some LEED projects here." And I'm like, "Well, maybe I could offer your document management as an additional service." And we're both going through the same stages of, growth and cold outreach, and it's just nice to have somebody else to talk to about it, because I feel like if I go and talk to another consultant in my industry or somebody in design is like, "Oh, well, they're like, oh, I kind of get it, but they don't get it," right? Like if somebody's going through what you're going through, like Jessica was with moms that were pregnant at the same time, and I have a mom's group too, and um, it's nice to be within a group that not only gets it, but wants to go where you want to go, right? So I think you can fall into groups and think, "Oh, this isn't going in a good place," or you can join a group that has a goal that you aspire to, and it gets you more excited about it. So, yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
a highlight for me right now.
Thanks for sharing. Well, Luca?
So kind of like Marcy, I met somebody through Mothers in Architecture during COVID, and she and I over the years we talk almost daily now, but definitely in the beginning it was weekly because we were so similar. And we both found out that we had ADHD together and had a hard time working when we were alone or doing the really boring or difficult things that we did. So now she's just this little head on my screen every day in the bottom corner. And if she's not there, I can't get as much done because it's like, what is that? When the kids are parallel playing, but they're not really playing together. And she's a great source of information because she's maybe not my senior, but this is my second career, and she has a lot more experience. And she's just so kind and sharing, and it's really made my workspace so much better. Just my career so much better. And she feels the same way. And she's become one of my best friends, and I've never seen her physically. We tried to get together this summer, but it fell apart. But yeah, so just a person like that has made the difficult things that I have to do daily so much easier.
Thanks for sharing.
So if anyone has trouble working and wants to have me in the corner to be the accountable, person, please give me a call. I'd love to.
it. That's awesome.
Great.
I'd be up for that really good. I've got ADHD, and I don't know if anybody else can't find somebody to parallel work with. FocusMate is a good source.
FocusMate, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. I don't have ADHD, but I would love a FocusMate too
Yeah,
sometimes.
so focusmate.com is free for so many sessions a month. And you can just jump on there and find somebody to parallel work with. Yeah, it's easy.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I'll go to the next question. How have social norms or peer pressure shaped a habit you currently have, either positive or negative?
I think one of the things that I learned throughout my architecture career is like how to communicate with my clients better. And I know that peer pressure has, I mean, in a good way, has like how do you, instead of saying I'm so sorry, I say thank you for understanding, or if I'm missing a deadline, or if I need more time, thank you for your patience. Like those are the things that or like the way that people communicate with me, that I'm like, so I learned from them. And being part of the AIA, and then we have, and the mothers in architecture and the women in architecture, those are that shape the way that I relate to my architecture clients. So that's kind of cool.
Thanks. Any other comments?
I was gonna comment that thinking about this, about going against your culture, it's an extra effort. Like I've been thinking sometimes that like my family, they're always late for everything. And that was kind of like the norm for us. Like we're late for going everywhere. And I kind of started thinking that
What
it
part
was
what part of Latin America are you from? Because
Exactly.
that's
Colombia. And going against them on that, like, was so difficult for me because I noticed like the benefits of being on time and, saying if you're going, you go, and like keeping your word and being on time. Like it was so important. And like for me, my family, that has been a lot of effort. But I guess I'm just like, I won't change them. I can only change myself. So that's one of those things, going against your culture.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Made me think this weekend. So my daughter's 15. She has this friend Fipe, and she's Polynesian, and Fipe goes to a Polynesian church. We're LDS, and then we go to an English speaking church. So anyway, my daughter went to the Polynesian for a Halloween party on Friday night. And Polynesians are more fun. They have music, lots of food, and then like the American. So then Fipe came to ours on Saturday night. She's like, "Where's the music? Where's the fun? You guys have boring food. We barely had enough, lettuce, and a little salad, and a little soup." So anyway, so it was kind of funny. There's just a cultural difference. She's used to fun Polynesian, and music. So we're like, we need to liven up. We have a lot of older people in my church, and so they're not as lively. But so I was thining, we need to embrace the
Like
other
my big
cultures.
fat Greek wedding.
Yeah. So it was funny. It was just funny to hear Pipe talk about that. So I was like, yeah, each church, even though they're the same overall church, they each have their own cultural behaviors. And so it's good to probably adapt to a different habit for others and learn. So I thought that was funny. Any
And
other
good for
comments?
you, and good for you, Giovanna, for breaking that habit. I
Yeah.
have gotten everybody here accustomed that I'm always late. I just can't help it. I don't know what it is. It's just I it's crazy. And I understand that this is so rude but I honestly, I mean, I can get up at 6 in the morning and I'm still late because I don't know what I do. It's just not great.
For sure.
My big fat Greek wedding was filmed down the street from here.
Oh,
And I noticed that living in Greektown for like 20 years, it became really normal for me to kind of eat late, later in the evening, and to eat Mediterranean diet food like all the time. And then I go back to my hometown and, they're eating like regular Canadian waspy food, right? The meat and potatoes and the gravy and the cheese and all that. And, living this lifestyle in a small town where there's not very good transit and, relying on the car everywhere. And I just see this big contrast between the two lifestyles.
It's so funny that you guys are talking about being Latin culture. I'm Romanian, which is Latin culture, and my daughter's here helping me organize my new office. And she's like, "This is so funny. It's just like you, late all the time."
And I don't know what it is about us Latins that we have that ingrained in us to not be.
Yeah, my husband hates it. He says it's so rude. I'm like,
I
"I'm not trying to
know.
be
Yes,
rude. It's just
we actually used to drive. We have two daughters, and one was very much like my late husband, and one is very much like myself. So we used to go to church. We used to be in this great argument because we used to sit in this first pew at the Catholic Church, and then I mean, so to control that, we started driving two different cars. So it was the group of two that were sitting down at the church ready to go, and the two were always late, And then that was, I mean, that calmed so many arguments because it's like he was not he was not comfortable walking in late after the priest or right behind the priest. Well, I didn't care, and so it was very it fixed a lot of our uh fighting on Saturday night going to church because we just drove separately. It was crazy, but I mean it worked.
made a solution. Each
Yeah,
just went
that's
on their
so
own
funny.
time. It reminds me of when I grew up, my mom's always late. My mom, she'd drop me off at ballet and she wouldn't pick me up till like an hour later. She'd be out shopping and this is before cell phones. So the place would close at night and they'd just lock it and I'd stand out there as a little teenager. So then I think I ingrained in me like I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like my mom. So I changed my behavior. So when I'm very on time because my family is just so bad. They're just so late. And I always tell my mom a different time, like a half hour earlier. So then she'll arrive like in a half hour and they'll be on time because she's just always late. But it's fine. I just, I was traumatized by being left alone a lot.
I was traumatized too. That's why I decided like I don't want to do this to my kids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
That's I mean, like in Mexican culture, the wedding invitation is actually set for an hour earlier than it really
Oh,
is.
I
Like
know. It's
so
so
it's like
funny.
6 p.m., but it's really at 7 because otherwise everybody's late. So it's a horrible custom. And good for you guys that you went against it. I am here traumatizing my children, so it's okay.
embracing it. And then don't parties go on? My friend's Mexican. She's that works next to me, but don't the parties go on late too? It starts late and then it continues on to late in the night.
They even serve breakfast.
Yeah, like it's
The
like a whole thing.
whole thing. It's like
Like
all
wedding,
night.
yeah,
Yeah,
wedding goes for days, like the
Yeah,
yeah,
whole
true.
weekend and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy. We like
yeah,
to party.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's good. All right. I'll ask the next question. Does your current community support the habits you want to build? If not, what changes could you make to your environment or social circle? What do you guys think?
That is the hardest thing. You can't do that. Yeah, it's like when I was losing weight, there's no way. I mean, they would serve all these desserts and all these things. And I mean, I couldn't change anything. So like I had to learn to change me because and that was hard because like I was weddings and this bar mitzvah and this and that and all these holidays and with tons of food. And it was like, yeah, no. It was hard, but it's a mindset I had to say, okay, if they're gonna be this way, I can't be sucked into that, because
Yeah.
if I have a goal and so that was a hard one.
Yeah. And I see with my mom, she's diabetic and heart failure, so she has a very strict diet, but I just always tell her, bring your own food. So wherever you go, you have what you need so that you don't have to, worry, because she's always like, oh, well, they have what I need, like that I can eat. I'm just like, if you bring your own, then you just have to
Yeah.
adapt for yourself.
Yeah, and
So,
then I can't be embarrassed about it. I had to
Yeah.
like do the same, like I mean either eat before or bring it
Yeah.
with me or offer, hey, can I bring something and then bring
Yeah.
what I can eat, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but that was really the community in my community is just all about food. It's all and then they get offended. First they shame you for being fat, but they get offended if you don't eat. So it's like you can't win.
Ah, never ends. Uh, anyone else? We can move on. Which friends have habits that you want to emulate? How can you spend more time with them? Do you guys have a person in mind that you would want to emulate their habits?
I don't know if I could. I have a friend who is like so consistent with everything she does, and I so wish I could be like that, but it's not part of ADHD, first of all, and it's not part of, I'm really creative and sometimes I'm really lazy or I need downtime. I'm not gonna say I'm lazy. And this person, she just is always like every day works the same amount and every day runs the same amount. And I don't know how the heck she does it. And I'd love to do that, but well, she also doesn't have kids or blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that.
No.
And
have a-
that's okay.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm dealing with that. It's just who I am.
Yeah, I have a sister-in-law. She's a doctor, but she just type A personality, does everything, exercises, travels everywhere, is on a fellow, does all sorts of things. I'm like, how? And she has 4 kids, and 2 dogs, and I'm always like, well, I get tired just seeing what she does. I'd like to be like her and have that much energy, but I do not. So.
But I think
I
go ahead.
like to be so organized that, those people that get their Christmas shopping done early. I will never be that person. I hate shopping, and it's just, I wish somebody would just do it for me, and then I will be so happy.
Amazon.
But even with that, you have to, it feels like you have all year and you're like, oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And then obviously I'm always like rush shipping something. It's so annoying. I hate
Mhm.
Christmas.
And one thing to keep in mind is that we can't compare ourselves to other people. I mean, we might want to emulate them, but we can't be them, like so I can't beat myself up because I'm not that person, that can get up at 4 in the morning and work
Mhm.
out and, and then, look beautiful, whatever. I just, that's not, and I don't like shopping either. I hate shopping. It's funny, my birthday was coming up and we went out with my friends and one friend knows me that she knows I hate shopping, so she buys my present. The other people don't know me so well, so they gave me all gift cards, and I'm like, oh goody, what am I gonna do with these? I'm like, I'm not shopping, so so it's annoying. But yeah, but it's who I am.
Giovanna, did you have something?
No, I was gonna say that I have a friend that she wakes up very early, like always, like all her life. She wakes up very early and she wakes up her kids very early. Like they have like 2 hours in the morning to get ready, get breakfast. And she stayed with me like for a couple of months in my house. So I noticed all that and I was like, she's crazy, like waking up the kids at 5 in the morning. Like I'm like, no, I wake up my kids at 7, we have like 45 minutes. But then like now I see like her morning is so much peaceful than mine because she has all this time. She didn't have to scream at the kids, she didn't have to rush in traffic. So now I'm like, yeah, I would like to be like, now I see the good in that, that she's like 2 hours in the morning to get ready.
Thanks for sharing. Next question. What is one habit you could strengthen by joining a group where the habit is the norm? So like a fitness class, a writing group, a professional network. We kind of already talked about this, but what are some that maybe you haven't joined yet and you want to, but you want to share?
I have a different book club that I had belonged for like 29 years. So we have read like thousands of books. And so it's like we meet once a month and then, we take the summer, July off or whatever, but I have read so many books of things that I would never pick because we pick it as a group. I don't like novels and things like that, but I have been exposed to so many because of that. And I love reading, so it's just a good deal. So I love my book club.
I joined a group of female founders that, well, they match you up with female founders in your city and you go for walks with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, well, that's a good way for me to network with other people, be outdoors, and do walking. So I got kind of a 3-in-1 hit. My first one is in a couple of days.
Oh, great. Let us know how it goes.
Will do.
So I got a Peloton for Mother's Day 2 years and a half ago. So I'm thinking of maybe joining their community
Nice.
since I don't know, I've just made too many excuses of why I'm too busy.
That's a great idea, Kiara.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Keep us posted how
Yes,
that goes.
good
Yeah.
idea. Like it.
Yeah. Awesome. Anyone else? Okay. I'll move to the last chapter. Chapter 10 is how to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. So in summary, cravings are emotional signals. So every habit, good or bad, starts with a craving, which is your attempt to change your internal state. Are you bored, stressed, like discomfort? And bad habits persist because they satisfy these emotional needs temporarily. Another part of it was inversion of the second law. So make it unattractive. So not attractive, but now unattractive. So to break your bad habit, you need to make them less appealing. So it's understanding the deeper motives behind them and reframing your perspective so that the habit feels undesirable. So you can shift from I have to I get to. So instead of I have to exercise, I get to build strength. And then viewing quitting as a bad habit, view quitting as a bad habit as gaining freedom, not losing pleasure. This mental shift turns obligations into opportunities. Another part was motivation rituals. So pair positive emotions with good habits. So like we talked about, play music before a workout to make them more attractive and rewarding. This helps replace negative patterns with positive ones. And then the root cause awareness is another part. So bad habits often stem from unmet needs, which is like stress relief or social connection. So if you can identify the triggers and find healthier alternatives to satisfy the same need. So questions, what emotional need does one of your bad habits satisfy? You guys can think of a bad habit and what is that emotional need that
So
I'm usually boredom.
I can definitely say that I would go to the junk food when I was stressed out. I mean, and that was my very bad habit. Like I did it in school. I thought that that I needed it for energy and all this, the things that I've been, it was really more stress related, kind of like what we were talking about before, like about the psychosomatic thing. Yeah, I mean, it's like and I had to break that habit because that's why I gained so much weight, is because I was stressed out at work, and I bought snacks for my staff, but it was really for me. And I would just go get, and so I had to quit that. So I had to find other ways. And so now I have other things that ground me, and I'm learning to do that more, to not go to the food. And so yeah, that's definitely a bad habit and I sometimes have that craving, but I know it's emotional. So that was
Okay. Yeah, that's a good example. Anyone else?
I sometimes get really excited about doing something social when I hear about it. And then when it comes time to do it, it's the last thing I want to do. And I come up with 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't or can't go. And one thing that has helped me, I don't know if this has anything to do with the question because I'm spacing out, but I try to find somebody at the party that's more uncomfortable than me. And it feels so good to make that person feel connected and feel like they're having a good time at the party. And I've met so many introverted people because of it that are forced to go to parties with their social spouses or friends or, for work parties. But oh man, do I want to bail out the last minute? It's a terrible habit.
That's
But
my
showing
problem
up,
too.
but like this, the last time
Yeah.
I had other obligations that conflicted, and at least I was able to listen. But showing up it just brings so much opportunity, even if you absolutely hate it.
Yeah. I like your idea to try to find someone to connect with that looks like they're,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
enjoying. Yeah. I usually like to commit, like say I'll go to something like a party, but then I don't want to go. Yeah. When it comes down to, but if I have pressure that someone's waiting for me or wanting me to go, then I do show up just out of obligation. But then I usually always have a good time. So I don't know. I'm an introvert as well. So yeah, it's hard.
It's awesome that you guys are gonna lead the discussions, even if you're an introvert. Look at you
Yeah,
guys.
I know.
Look at
Taking a
you.
lot.
I know.
I was gonna bring up earlier when I was in college and I was very shy. My daughter's even really shy. My daughter is selective mute, so we go to a therapist because of her mute. Anyway, I was probably like that all through elementary. So when I was in college, in architecture school, you're always presenting. So that was just terrifying for me. So my grandma, she told me, go join Toastmasters. This is kind of going along with, finding a group that helps you. So anyway, I joined the Salt Lake. If you guys haven't heard of Toastmasters, but you have to get up and say a speech, and then if you say or ah, click, 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 So even now I'm like thinking, don't say or ah. So as you present, they critique you, but it helps because it helped me like during architecture school to just have the courage to get up in front of people and talk. So it was at the library, and I think we met like once a week, but I'd have to prepare a little talk, and just the whole group was supportive, and they helped me get through. I still have the fear of talking in front of people, but it helped me to just work on it and not be so fearful. So I'm seeing it in my daughter who's 15, and so she's been just struggling just talking to her peers, but we've been working through that, and she's now made some friends. So I'm very happy she has a little friend Pipe that's Polynesian. That's fun. So anyway, anyone else? I keep talking. Sorry.
I joined Toastmasters too a long time ago, and then every time I get nervous, I feel like my accent becomes very thick and I
Oh,
can't pronounce the words. And then I start seeing people that are like, you know, going like this, thinking, what is she trying to say? And then I get more nervous. And then I thought, okay, I'm talking about something I know inside and out. So even if I don't stick to perfect to the guide, I just have to go and do it. And I do talk a lot and I'm very loud. And so it's just, I can talk my way out of things. And so I decided I can't. And so I've been getting better, But yes, it's always a struggle to speak in public, and then having all those eyes looking at you and thinking, and then I'm surrounded by like Norwegians and Germans and things like that, and sometimes my accent they still don't understand, and so that is frustrating. But ah,
Well, that's good that you practiced and went there. Yeah. Anyone else want to share? Okay, I'll move to the next. Can you think of a habit where reframing from, I have to do something to, I get to, would that make a big difference in your mindset? You guys have any examples of that?
I'll do a short example. I really wanted to be an exchange student when I was a teenager, and I hated talking in front of people, and I was total introvert. But if I did the speeches and spoke in front of all these interview panels and um, asserted myself, then I got to go on an exchange for a year somewhere.
Yeah.
So it reframed the idea of speaking in front of people from, oh, well, you have to, or to I get to. Because I get to go and yeah, I have to do a few speeches, but I get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Because it's a more of a reward. I get to enjoy it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And same with speaking at conferences too. Like I love going to different conferences and speaking at the conferences and meeting other people and getting other perspectives. And I wouldn't have had those opportunities if I didn't have experience speaking to people.
Yeah.
So
Raluca can use that. I get to go to that party.
exactly.
I get to go help other introverts.
That's it.
Well, so that kind of brings me to the question of I'm really nervous. I get to present next time.
I
And
know.
like this is a lot of homework. I don't have time. How did you create this? Did you use Chat GPT or some other AI or uh, I know one of you talked about a book at the beginning of our meetings, and I can't remember. How did you come up with this chapter summaries and questions? And did you just do
oh,
it?
like me. I did a Google search on different websites. So then I read each of them. And then I did go to Copilot that helped me just form some questions.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I like to just get all sorts of resources. So and then
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
pick what
ChatGPT,
makes
I
sense.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
of course,
Microsoft
reading it.
Copilot.
But,
Yeah,
uh,
I read it and then just just compiling. But
yeah.
I didn't just copy and paste because there's some questions I'm like, oh. Yeah, so I just picked the ones that I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about.
Okay.
But I got like 3 or 4 different websites because there are groups that are for book clubs for this, and they give examples of their questions for each chapter. So that was good to read.
And
Okay.
if you need a second pair of eyes, let us know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep it low key, but yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
low key, low key. No comparing it to each
Yeah.
other. Everybody's different.
I always think I'm doing homework. So when I joined my old lady, I call it my old lady book club. Like the first time they had questions, I filled out every little answer because my mom was an English teacher. And then I brought my paper and then they're looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, I just really thought I had to turn in a paper, So they're just, no, we just talk. Okay. So I'm just really nerdy. So I like to make a whole paper. So yeah, you don't have to copy me.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Very good.
Are we still good on time or?
Yeah, I think we have
So-
10 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What strategies have you used or could use to make a bad habit less appealing?
Hmm.
I put my cookie jar in the cupboard instead of seeing it and walking past it.
And the top shelf.
second shelf, but still, it's like the furthest
You go get it.
cupboard, and it's
Yeah.
got an opaque door to it. Because I was reading through, and I was like, make it invisible. I could make the cookie jar invisible because I keep walking past it.
I don't buy like a bigger size clothes. Even when they get tight, I suffer through that. And then I tell myself, this is what you've done. So, this is what you have to face. And so I will
But
never buy a bigger number because I just have to keep myself on check.
good.
Good idea. Wear
Um,
buttons instead of spandex or whatever.
yeah. This is not something I've been doing for me, but for my daughter, she likes to bite her nails. So I found like this thing that you put it's like a clear thing for her nails, and it tastes horrible. So I've been putting it, and it's been helping her. And she actually like sometimes tell me like, can you put this stuff on my nails? I don't bite them, So that's a bad habit she's trying to stop.
On my example of helping my mom with her will and trust, so I put this question into Chat GPT, like how to make it bad habit unattractive. So mainly it's because of my avoidance, because I don't want to. So it just replied, instead of thinking I'm avoiding this because it's stressful, like you think of it to make it attractive. Delaying this means more uncertainty for my family. So that would make procrastination feel unattractive. So I'm doing this to help because when my mom's mom died, my grandma, like it was just a big mess, and like I've lived through that. So that's why I'm like telling myself, okay, if I'm organized and I do this now, we'll prevent all these troubles. So I should like keep telling myself that more to get me to do that. So it's attractive to complete it, not just, oh, this is just another thing that looks boring to do. So that's my goal, is to work on that before the end of the year, or at least give myself some time. But yeah. Anyone else? Luca, did you have something? Or
Hiding cookies, putting them away. Yeah,
yeah, just get
that's
it. You don't even see it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's very smart. Okay, so wait, I guess we have two more questions, but I'll skip to the last one. How can mindfulness or journaling help you uncover the root cause of your bad habits? Because they talk about, finding root causes, what's causing this. But do you guys do journaling or other mindfulness to help?
I don't like journaling because it brings up a lot of issues, but it's so helpful when I do it, and I just write down what, sometimes I even write to myself like, what are you doing? And then maybe I do. Somebody told me do with one hand write and then answer with the other hand, and it's almost like one side of your brain speaking to the other. So, I mean, I don't do that very often, but it's definitely helpful when I do write. I get clarity. So yeah, even though I don't like it, I can see that I get clarity.
Anyone else?
I haven't done journaling, but what I did is I took like a workshop from Chopra, and it was about like your grandparents and things like that, like things that I never thought about, but with like money issues. And it talked about like saying thank you for giving me, what you have until this moment, and now I'm gonna take the step, a higher step. And I noticed that, like, at least in my family, maybe with like my grandparents, they're always like, "Oh, just be grateful for what you have so far, and that's it." Like that, like this is where you should stay. And I noticed that it helped me to get a lot of clarity and to feel okay with wanting more than what I have now. It's okay to want more, and thank you for what you've given me, and now I'm gonna take a step, higher.
I like that example. Thank you. Anyone else? Sure. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your contributions and sharing your habits and bad habits and everything. So I've learned a lot. So I appreciate the opportunity to
Great job.
talk about it.
Great
Yeah,
job. Thank you,
thank you.
Stacy. So
Yeah, thank you.
next time's Luca. And we when is it? In 2 weeks we're gonna do it. And so
Okay, so what's the date? I know you
the
sent it.
date is, let me tell you. It is on, so today's the 27th. I think it's the 10th. No, the is it the 10th?
The 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, the 10th. Very good. So it's November 10th, and everybody's been getting the emails, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So very good. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm gonna stop the